Two qualities are not enough. Almost all trait psychologists these days suggest that a set of 5 qualities is needed to describe personality. These qualities are given the name the Big Five. The little inventory, which you'll see in discussion sections, the Big Five is the most common simple personality inventory, which picks up both on extroversion and neuroticism and differences in being warm-hearted and agreeable, reliable and conscientious, and kind of untraditional, try out new things, open to new experiences versus traditional. That's sort of just talking. The real scientific question that is a more interesting one is, where do these qualities come from? Why do people differ on them? Obviously, one possibility is that the differences are inherited. The way to study the differences that are inherited, I should have put up some, for you sports fans, some more contemporary twins from the NBA, are to study twins. The logic of studying twins, which I'll do quickly because the logic is very simple, is that there are 2 types of twins. Some twins are identical. Some twins are fraternal. The identical twins have, for all intents and purposes, identical genomes. Through random variations, they differ a tiny bit, which is probably inconsequential. The fraternal twins are as similar as siblings. They share 50% of their genetic overlap. Usually, what happens is they're raised in the same household. You know, even if you get identical twins, you know, you take them both home. You don't return them. I got one of these already. Don't need another one of these. You take them both home. So they're in the same household. This means that if you think of it as an experiment, household is sort of controlled, and there's a variable. The variable is % genetic overlap. So if the people in this household are less similar than the people in that household, under the assumption that parents treat, which is a risky one, MZ, identical monozygotic, and DZ, fraternal dizygotic twins, the same, you can simply compare pairs of these twins. This is how the research is done. There's more sophisticated forms of research we'll see later in the semester. But a simple way to do twin research is to go to some twin club event, of which there are many, because there are many twins, get the people there to fill out some questionnaires, make sure you pay attention to which ones are mono or dizygotic, and see if the monozygotic twins are more similar, or in the language of this stuff, have a higher correlation than the dizygotic twins. Sometimes people can run a really fancy study because sometimes twins aren't even raised together. You don't have to do this, but sometimes you can find twins because of adoption where one twin grows up in, you know, Brooklyn and the other in Borneo or something. Every once in a while you see this in the news, they meet, it's incredible, they're both wearing pants, or some amazing coincidence occurs. But sometimes there are some striking coincidences. There are data sets in which there are groups of people who are identical twins reared apart. If genetics makes no difference to your personality, and it's all experience, then these people should just be unrelated. They're just psychologically unrelated. But what happens in these studies, when they study identical twins reared together or apart, these are correlations, so 0 would be unrelated, obviously. On this trait of tending to experience negative emotions, the twins were, in this study, as similar to one another if they were raised apart as if they were raised together. So on this quality, tendency to experience negative emotions, it had almost the same feel as eye color. As if basically you inherited, and we'll get to these things later in the semester, a kind of a brain chemistry that predisposes you towards positive or negative emotions. If your twin grows up with you, or if your twin grows up in the South Side Australia, your twin is equally similar to you, all of it on this particular variable, or a heck of a lot of it, it's a correlation only of 0.6, so a lot of it is an inherited biology that's detectable even if the twins are raised in different locations. So this fuels this third kind of theories. And also the fraternal twins are less similar than the identical twins. That's how it always goes. So this fuels a third kind of theory. This third kind of theory, unlike Freud, does not do an analysis of the mind. Unlike Rogers, does not really say anything about personal growth and psychological change. And it's a different theory because it's taking up a different phenomenon. It's essentially saying that even if those other two guys were right, there's something else going on, some inherited qualities that kind of preset the nervous system to run in one direction versus another that are so influential that if you find twins who didn't even see each other since the second day after they were born and one was adopted, they're still kind of similar.